Number 12, this is one of my favorites right here. Buy all the time you can afford. And this is a really important one for us as home educators to understand. Buy all the time you can afford, because some of us as home educators will work so hard that we're to save money that we're really wasting time. You got to put a dollar value on what an hour of your time is worth. And if you can buy an hour of time for less than that amount, it is generally a good idea to do so. I know for most of my life I changed my own oil. I'm not much of a mechanic, I'll admit that, but I figured that was one job I could save some money by doing myself. A while back, though, we had a super Walmart open up in our town, and they had an oil change special there. Don't remember the exact price, but it was about $20 at the time. And I looked at that and thought, that's really interesting. I did a little experiment and found that if I bought all of the supplies myself, it was probably going to run me about $16 or so. By the time you got 5 quarts of oil, which is what my vehicle would take, plus a filter there, and then you got the lubrication, which I wouldn't even do, had about $16. So only about $4 difference here between me doing it and them doing it. And then I started thinking, how much time would it really take for me to do an oil change? And by the time I went to the store, bought the stuff, got home, found the old milk carton to cut open, drained it out in there, and then tried to find my tools that the boys had lost out in the yard somewhere to finish the job, I'd have a full hour by the time I got all cleaned up. And I started thinking, I could be letting them do that job while I'm doing some shopping I got to do anyway for $4 more. And so at this point in my life, my time is worth more than $4 an hour. And so pretty much since that time, I've had somebody else change the oil. Let me give you another little example. How many people here would say, Rick, let me back up just a second. What if I said this? What if I said, hey, folks, listen, right after the convention today, I have a tremendous job opportunity for somebody right downstairs here in the convention center. I have been informed that there is a need for someone to wash dishes for $2.40 an hour tonight. How many people here would like that job, washing dishes, $2.40 an hour? Well, there's probably over 100 people in the room, and I don't see anybody raising their hands. And you say, well, of course not, Rick, because nobody works for $2.40 an hour these days. All right, and I'm going to ask you a second question. If I was to go home with you tonight as a guest in your house there, and you were to serve me supper this evening, how many of you would probably serve me on a washable plate as opposed to a paper plate? Could I see your hand? Not a trick question. Go ahead. That's what I figured. The majority would use the washable plate. Now, those of you who just raised your hands, you know what? You are washing dishes for $2.40 an hour. Let me show you why. If you use washable plates, you're probably going to spend about 30 seconds washing every one of those plates. By the time you take it off the table, you scrape it off, you wash it off, you rinse it off, you dry it off, you put it back up. You probably got about 30 seconds in every one of those plates, which means you could wash about 120 plates per hour. Maybe a little more with a dishwasher, but let's just keep it simple. Say about 2 plates per minute. Everybody with me on that? Okay. Now, paper plates, on the other hand, can be purchased in bulk for about 2 cents a piece. If you get them at a Sam's or a Costco, or you catch them on sale sometime at Family Dollar or Dollar General, you can get them down to about 2 cents a piece. Now, you throw those away instantly when you're done. You do that 120 times, and you've just saved yourself 1 hour of work. How much did that cost you? It cost you $2.40. So, unless you're willing to work for $2.40 an hour washing dishes, you might want to consider at least occasionally buying some paper plates as a way to actually buy time if your time is worth more than $2.40 an hour. Now, a lot of times we have time for question and answer. I know I can just see those questions wanting to pop out, but we just don't have time for it in this session today. I wish we did.